you in the ring.
Well, James, here today on the Punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez. Exciting. Got a very cool guest, like always, on our shows. We got the VP of WBC Cares, Shannon Torres. And I think it's going to be great to ask her what's going on with what she's doing in that, and as far as some boxing questions, because she's a heck of a fighter.
Yeah, I mean, Shannon Torres Gilman is one of my favorite people. Someone I like to sit around and just talk boxing with, even on the side, you know. She has interesting stories. She's been with different fighters. And I'm excited to interview her as something different that the show needs.
Well, that's what we're going to get ready to do right now. We're going to go to the lines with Shannon Torres.
What's her name?
What? Hello?
It's not ringing.
Oh, can't hear.
Can't hear it.
Hold on.
You can't.
I can't hear.
Hold on.
I can hear. Can you hear us? Can you hear us talking?
I can't. I just can't hear the phone.
I can't hear her.
All right. You want to call back?
I can't hear her on my earphones.
No, I can't hear it on my earphones either.
I can hear it in my earphones, so I heard her talking, but she didn't.
He has to dial it again, probably.
No.
No?
Or maybe it came unplugged up here. It just wasn't loud enough. Yes, I can't hear it either.
Yeah.
Do you hear this dialing? Tell me if you hear dialing at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Everybody can hear now?
Yeah,
We can. Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
All right. I think we're functioning.
All right.
We got a new producer right now, so
We're blaming him.
Hi, I'm Caleb.
You're blaming him?
Yes.
That's always good. See? Someone to blame.
Yeah.
Caleb.
The whipping boy.
Yeah, Caleb. We're all blaming you. I'm jumping on board. I'm a follower, not a leader, so
Well, we're-
definitely jumping on board with that.
You are a leader.
Usually what we're going to do is probably stone him after the show.
Oh.
So tell us a little bit.
That's actually funny because it's probably true, and I'm just kidding.
Tell us what your job title is, what you do, Shannon. I know what you do, but tell us.
What I do now is a lot different than what I did before. Right now, I'm working with the WBC Cares.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what we're doing is outreach programs through the WBC, just doing the anti-bullying campaign, making people aware of the Fighters Fund, various things like that. We do an educational with Solas.
Awesome.
And we go in and read to children and, do those sorts of things. Besides being around all the crazy boxing world all the time.
That's true.
Yeah, well, it breaks up the monotony of things too, so.
Well, yeah, I think that, especially because you wouldn't typically think that boxers would be reaching out to educate people, or anti-bullying. So I think that it's kind of a necessary thing because I think that fighters get kind of the wrong reputation.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. I don't know how many times people are like, "Oh, you box," and then they're like, "I bet you want to hit me,"
Oh yeah, you get that all the time, and
opposite.
And that goes good hand in hand with boxing and anti-bullying. Boxing, people like you're saying, some may assume like outside the ring they're ready to go beat somebody up, as where they train to do that as a sport, not as in bullying.
Well, the thing is if you listen and learn in the world of boxing, or you grew up in the world of boxing, you know that many times the greatest fighters that we see came to a boxing gym because they were bullied or because they were somehow cast out of society. They were looking for something. They were looking for a sense of community. They were looking for a sense of family. They were looking for a sense of belonging. So actually what people don't realize is that the focus that you learn in a boxing gym or any kind of a fighting atmosphere is so directly about controlling yourself that you're less likely to be hit by a professional boxer or athlete than anybody else.
It's true.
Because their level of respect for their own body and their own focus is so beyond that of a regular person.
So Shannon, tell me about your boxing career.
My boxing career, or how I got in the boxing world.
Yeah.
They're two different. I grew up in a boxing family. My grandfather was a national champion. He ended up boxing for the Army. And so I kind of grew up in the boxing world. We had a ring in our basement. It was quite the scene. And then I got into boxing for myself at a later time in my life. Again, I kind of revisited it after growing up in it. and I started sparring and doing real contact boxing. When I started sparring, I had gone to school for sports medicine.
Okay.
And that's actually how I had gotten introduced to the world of Kelly, was through Sergio Martinez. And I started working as a physical therapy aide in training under a doctor in Malibu and started working on professional athletes.
Okay.
Once I started working on professional athletes, the boxing I was just doing as my thing on the side. I just started helping out boxers who would be injured, and I'd be like, oh, I can fix that. So it kind of progressed in being put on teams, which was at that time very rare because most people don't realize that women aren't allowed into training camps.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's kind of a misconception that they're like these party centrals when they're really not. So I got in the world of physical therapy and rehab, working with Victor Ortiz and working at Knuckleheads and Sergio Martinez.
Okay.
And I just kind of stayed in that world. I still, to this day, only spar with Crystal, or I work out with Mia, and then Mia is finally retired.
Mia,
we
yeah.
hope, we think.
Yeah.
Mia St. John.
Yeah, I love Mia.
Never ending. I absolutely love her because I think as a female, we all wish we were as badass as her. I mean, she just keeps going, you know?
Crystal's pretty close, though.
Yeah. Crystal, I'll tell you what, Crystal hits like a train wreck, and that's actually how I got my Instagram name. Was Crystal and I were sparring in a training camp, and I'm sure, Kelly, you know your last week of training camp. You're like, last 2 weeks you're hungry, you're grumpy, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So we were actually in Oxnard at KO.
Okay.
And we were sparring, and we were really, really hungry, and we got really, I got mad because she thought I cheap shotted her and I thought she shotted me, and we just went at it. And I went to touch gloves with her at the end, and she thought I was throwing another punch, and she hit me in my mask and knocked me out on my feet.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, you're right, but I got grumpy mainly like I want to say the day of the weigh-in, day before the weigh-in, when the time got close to having to cut that weight. And then the day of the fight, I was very grumpy too, though, because I think it was more the anticipation and anxiety than anything else. But, yeah.
It was always the week of. I got better at weigh-in, but because I knew I was eating a little bit later.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing when somebody messes with your food intake. Food intake and water intake, and your brain gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah, then you got to go.
You don't even realize you are grumpy. Yeah.
Yeah, then you got to go work out, and you got nothing in you, and you still have to go run on a treadmill, get in a hot sauna, and all that fun stuff.
So I got a question, Shannon. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you, how many hours a week do you put in with this WBC Cares and the different charitable things that you guys do?
Right now with WBC Cares, I've been working with the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, too. So Michelle and I actually are working right now on a tournament for the WBC Amateurs, which they just started.
Okay.
They had the first one in Los Angeles. So we just got our sanctioning last week. So we're every day at it. I've been talking to the superintendent of schools here in Nevada. It depends on which program I'm working on.
Yeah.
I'm currently working on us being introduced to 3,000 members of the district here. So, it's kind of a nonstop thing. It's definitely become my new passion for sure. I would like to learn, kind of come up with new ideas for the fighter fund.
Yeah. Because
I think that's one of the things that is just so dramatically needed. People think that every boxer retires and that he has millions of dollars and he's got like dripping in gold.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that these people have battered and beaten themselves for your entertainment and quite often walk away and they're broke.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it is for everybody else's entertainment. I think, fans forget that too. They expect.
The fans think that they're educated in the sport, and it becomes this thing of where, like, I've never understood how they'll jump on the bandwagon of Kelly's great, he's awesome, he's whatever, and then you have one loss, and they're like, he sucked. He
Exactly.
gave up. He did, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, I get that all the time. I mean, mine is, I retired, and it's like you retired too early. And again, like I said before, I think that's more because people just remember from 2007 when I won the world title and don't know that I turned pro back in 2000 and that I fought at 9 years old. My goal in that sport was to win a world championship, make the money, and defend it and be great at what I did. And to me, I retired at 40-2 with 2 losses to all-time greats, Hall of Famers, and I got out. When you sign that contract, you don't. When everybody goes, "Oh, he retired too soon," and he's retired because of this, they all make the accusations. And the thing is, when you sign a contract, you're not signing a contract to say, "Yeah, I'm going to fight for my fans till I can't read no more. I can't talk no more. People are wiping my butt."
there you go.
That's not the case. Of course, you want to go out and give your fans and be exciting for them because they are the ones in the stands and they're paying for the pay-per-view and support you. But there comes a fine line between your health, your family, and their entertainment,
And the thing is when you're working in a camp, and you're part of the medical team of that camp. You're part of taping somebody's ankle when they roll it, or taping their hand together broken so they can fight with a broken hand. People don't understand that. They don't get that there's a level of pain and discomfort in the training alone that creates what you're seeing just for that one section of that fight. Yeah, they don't give any credit to what it takes to get into that ring.
And you know what? That's another very good point that you made right there. One thing that I tell a lot of people is that they don't understand. People see the glamorous part of boxing or MMA. And that's the fights.
Oh, of course.
Like a lot of times, people will watch a Torres fight or a brutal fight, and they say, "Man, that's the third fight in a row that a Toro has been in a all-out war. He's going to be punchy." The big factor is in boxing where people get the brain damage, like you're saying, the broken hands, the elbows, shoulders. That comes in from the day in, day out of spar. You spar 3 times, 4 times a week in a 2-month training camp, and you spar 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 rounds. Like back in the day, they used to say the gym wars in Philadelphia and in the Kronk Gym and places like that. That's where the fighters get that dementia, and that's where they get the brutal part of the fights. It's that 3-4 days a week of maybe 30 rounds in a week, 35, 40 rounds in a week of getting hit, and that's where the problem comes in. That's where the damage.
Absolutely, yeah. But nobody sees that, so they don't tend to believe anything that goes on behind what they're seeing in that little ring. And I mean, let's be honest, most people that are they're couch heroes.
Yeah,
they sit around. They're like
armchair boxers.
my favorite thing to tell people is like the minute they start on one of the people I've worked with, like right now it's popular to bag on Victor Ortiz. That's like I think that's like the most popular thing right now.
Yeah.
And people know because I was in that camp before. Every time I go anywhere, it's like the one question if somebody knows who I am, they're just like, "Oh yeah, what do you think about Ortiz?" And I'm just like, "Are you serious?" Like, my first question is, here's my first question for anybody who wants to ask me about boxing, right? Because I don't profess to be an expert. I only know what I've experienced by real life. I say, so how many times have you been hit in the face?
Yeah.
Right? I would say
like let's be honest.
Today or the past month.
Yeah. How many times have you gotten in a ring and been hit in the face? Because then I want to talk to you because you just might know what it's like because everything gets real when you get hit in the face.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That first time you step in the ring, right? You remember it. First time you stepped in the ring and somebody really rang your bell, it was like, whoa. You either stayed in and fought or you went, I'm going to go sit on the couch and talk smack.
Yeah, exactly.
I cried and got a popsicle after the first time I got hit in the face.
Did they give you a pop? I didn't get a popsicle.
I was 7.
Yeah.
I had my first amateur fight in Hemet, California. And I got hit.
I did my first black eye at 8. Yeah.
Did you?
And it was actually to my uncle who had his hand behind his back in the ring and he was pushing at me, telling me to punch him. And he was wearing a pair of gold rimmed glasses.
Wow.
And I turned around to swing and I swung so wild I hit the glass, hit his eye, and his eye just went poof.
Wow.
And I remember thinking, today's the day I'm going to die. I was terrified.